How are we all doing today? My name is Anima and I have a Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle for you, post-commentated. This time it's against Tim, otherwise known as Sir Ender on twitch.tv, and if you don't recognise this name cropping up on my channel by now, then you haven't been here for very long, or you haven't watched much stuff, and I'd really like you to, so just go back and look at the videos. Go on, Tim's really cool, just freaking go check it out, go. So, let me let you know what I'm bringing, despite you being able to see it on the screen. I am bringing a Scyther, Aurorus, Magmortar, Dragonair, Wartortle, and Zangoose, while my opponent Tim is bringing a Ditto, a Lantern, a Mismagius, Ursaring, Feraligatr, and a Swadloon. I'm so happy to see the Swadloon. I can't tell you how much I freaked out. You're gonna see precisely why I freak out when the Swadloon does come out. And this was a pretty funny battle, honestly. It was, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It was a bit different. So let's hit play and see what happens. I didn't really predict a lead, to be honest with you. I thought maybe the Swadloon was going to come out, and see, look at that! Look at that! It's me! I'm here! I'm here and I'm ready to do some work. Unfortunately, I don't do an awful lot. It's very sad. I felt very conflicted doing this. So I went for the Aerial Ace, knowing that would kill me outright, which is a bit disturbing to tell you the truth, and unfortunately Tim does decide to stay in, and I die! I just hit the deck! Just not a very good showcase of Swadloon's abilities. I really recommend that you go back and see Swadloon do some other stuff, because it's better than that, I promise you. So Tim goes out into Ditto, who transforms into me, and I anticipate this to be the Choice Scarf set, although I'm Choice Scarf too, so it's all a bit disconcerting. Regardless, my best play is to go into Hermes. I do know what my Scyther is about, but my opponent reveals that they are not Choice Scarfed and go for the U-turn. So right now, Hermes has taken a lot of damage because my fucking Scyther just hurt me. And my opponent is free to go into Nightmare, who is just gonna be a demon. My best play is just to go for the Toxic, because I wasn't really sure what would come in. It could have been the Feraligatr, it could have been anybody, it could have been anyone at all. It could have been a Mewtwo. Technically using Mewtwo, I'm lying. So I don't want to take a potential energy ball, anything this thing does, because I'm physically defensive, not specially defensive, so I would just fucking die, basically. And out comes the T-Bolt, which Slick just eats up, because Slick's a dragon and doesn't really care. Do get the Paralyze, but it doesn't really matter. Slick's not really about speed, and plus I do have Shed Skin. This isn't the, a Marvel Scale Rest Talk, Dragonair. This is a Shed Skin, Rest, Toxic, E-Speed, all that jazz. I do predict the out switch, so I do decide to switch out myself and go into Leslie, the real love of my life, and basically I didn't really know what was gonna go with what was happening with this thing, but Tim goes for the soak, and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Prior to the soak, anyway, I was like, oh, I'll be fine, just go for a fucking freeze dry, it's super effective, it'll be fine, it'll smash this fish in the face, I don't even need to matter. But the soak removes my stab, and so I can't hit this thing very hard, and it's faster than me, so this is just awful. And it's probably gonna go for an electric type move now, which it does, and that would have been super effective on me, and that would have just sucked. So I would have just died, basically, is what I'm trying to say to you. So I am able to shed my skin, leave a weird carcass on the battlefield. Who picks those up? Who cleans this place? Where is this place? Is this some other dimension? I'm not really sure. Gonna get a Toxic on that thing because that's the best thing I can really do, and at least hope to whittle it down where it starts soaking everybody. It's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit too intimate. I'm not really sure. I liked him, but this is all a bit strange. We're getting soaked, and I'm not really sure how I feel about this emotionally. I'm not really sure what to do about this. And obviously the discharge is coming, so I've got to get out of there and go back out into Leslie, who is Assault Vest, and with Aurorus's special defense, I mean, it's not like brilliant, but it's pretty good. The bulk is here, and it's powerful, but the discharge hits, and I take that very well because of my aforementioned special bulk. But you know, this thing is it's just gonna soak me anyway, so yeah, so that's exactly what happens. I get soaked. My dinosaur is moist. I don't know how I feel about this. My stab is removed once again, and freeze dry hits and does no damage. Well, actually, it's not bad. Considering it's a super effective hit, though, it really doesn't do an awful lot. My stab is gone, so I'm not stabbing anybody anytime soon, which I suppose is good for the community at large, but not really very good for the purpose of this battle. Obviously the discharge is coming, so I have to go back out into Slick. I was just very lucky that I had 2 very defensive Pokemon and 1 resist, but my opponent reveals the rest! And I was like, oh no, this thing is gonna really just, oh man, this is honestly just terrible. So the most I can really do, I mean, I could Dragon Tail this thing out, but I decided to go back out into Leslie just to try and get finally a stab super effective freeze dry on this thing. But my opponent goes for Sleep Talk, and what does he get? You guessed it, he gets a soak. So my dinosaur is once again moist after I meticulously towel dried her, and let me tell you, Aurora's is pretty big, so it was quite the bang up job. I have to go back into Slick because he got a friggin' soak and I can't do anything about that. And I bet you he gets Discharge. I bet you he does. I can't remember exactly what he gets, but I bet you get. Oh, he got the rest. But now he does wake up because rest is, of course, 2 turns, and he gets the soak off, and this is honestly just very upsetting. But I went for the Dragon Tail just to get rid of this damn thing because I can't. I might as well just try and deal with everybody else before dealing with this thing because I can't. I've got to whittle it down and then catch it, I guess. But Tim doesn't want to take a Dragon Tail and knows he can't do very much to me. Although, actually, he could have. He could have. But we made a boo-boo. Both of us made a boo-boo, I think. I'm pretty sure we both made a boo-boo, but the Ditto gets Dragon-tailed out and steals my bloody dragon, and you don't know how hard dragons are, like, to get and keep. Like, the licensing is just terrible. But thankfully, I do manage to win the speed tie and get the Dragon Tail off and get rid of it, and Tim is dragged out into Savage! He goes for the Ice Punch, but of course right now I am Water type, and I'm pretty sure I just forgot about that, honestly. I don't think I'm intelligent enough to keep track, but but so I resist the Ice Punch because of that miracle of being Water type. This is what I was saying about this just being a very funny, very strange battle. And of course the Discharge is coming, so I've got to switch out. And I can't take a Discharge. I just can't. I don't want to mess around with that. So he's free to go for that Discharge, and Aurorus, Leslie just takes it all day. She's not fast, but she might be a bit fast if it does become a water type, and I start blah blah blah. Not really sure why I switched out here. Not really sure. Okay, so there's some brain going on here, but my opponent goes for the Soak again, and my bug is now a water bug, I guess. So we're seeing a very mutated Surskit out on the field here. Is Surskit a bug? I'm pretty sure it is. Go for the U-turn just to try and hit it on the physical side, but of course my stab is removed, so this U-turn is not going to do as much damage as we'd all like, and I have to go back out into Slick, who's the only one who can just 1v1 this thing. 1v1 mate. So the Discharge is here. And yeah, again with this. Again with it just discharging all over me. It's so bad. So bad. So I have to go for the Toxic again, just to try and whittle this fish down, because my god, Luminous is just lighting everything up where it shouldn't. It's just revealing too much light. It's just soaking everybody, and I'm getting really, oh my god, it's just too much water. I was just like laughing hysterically throughout this whole battle. It was just really, it was just really horrendous. So Luminous is going to take a bit of Toxic, and of course the Discharge is coming, or the Soak, or whatever. Have to go back out into Leslie, and my opponent actually withdraws Luminous, which is a bit mysterious, but they got into Savage, and I just, well, the thing is, Leslie does have some investment in defense, so I was actually pretty confident that I could take a Waterfall, so that's why I stayed in and went for the Freeze Dry, but Tim, unfortunately, overpredicted and went for the return, quite fairly anticipating that I would switch out. Honestly, very fairly anticipating that I would switch out, and as a result, Savage is taken out, and oh man, it was just savage. So, out comes the Lantern again and gets up another Soak, and I'm just like, oh man, okay, alright, okay, I'm soaked again, alright, thank you. I need to bring an umbrella next time. Obviously, I can't stay in on the Discharge. You see where this is going. And I have to go back out into the Slick. My opponent predicts the out switch and goes for a Soak again, so I just have to keep switching out. I just have to keep switching out. If there were rocks on the field, this would be a different story. If there were rocks on the field, this would just be terrible. Auroras would be taking 25% every single time. There would be bits of dinosaur everywhere, and it would honestly just be terrible. It would be like another meteor shower, only just like a bit icy and a bit... I don't really know what I'm talking about anymore. So, back out into Leslie. As the discharge comes, he could just keep going for soak, but not really because he is poisoned. So, I mean, the more he, like... You know, he's got to make his moves kind of matter. And I am waiting for the rest. I am waiting for the rest, for when I can just switch and hop in with somebody and hope that I can just get a good hard hit on this thing. But Tim does switch out and go into Nightmare, who is just a nightmare, honestly. Takes this freeze drive because Miss Magius' special defense is nothing to scoff at. It is nothing to scoff at. I think it's like 105. And this Shadow Ball is going to hit, but Leslie just takes it because she doesn't care, because Auroras is just a demon. Is a demon. Auroras for president. Seriously. Although that could be the Assault Master. I'm kidding. I'm actually just I'm actually muscle built. So the freeze dry does take out the Miss Magius, and that's great. But now the Ursa Ring is here, who should be nicknamed Brother Bear. I think. I feel like I remembered that rightly. And goes to the Protect just to guarantee the Guts boost, and it is Guts, not Quick Feet. And my opponent goes for the crunch, and Lord, Lord have mercy, Auroras goes down, complete overkill, get eaten by a bear. Honestly, I wouldn't have expected a bear to take out a dinosaur, but it's Pokemon, so. And this facade is going to hit so hard, and bang, is going to get taken out. This is because I did not set my EVs properly, which is why the Ursa Ring clean out sped. I did have a suspicion it was Quick Feet, wasn't completely sure, but then it's like... but it's Guts. And thankfully, goes first, as usual, and manages to get a very solid U-turn on this thing, as I get initiative to go into Hermes, who will hopefully be able to at least take one facade, and he doesn't, so Hermes dies just taking hits all day. It's so sad. It's just so sad. I have to go into first again and get in there first. Just to kill this thing once and for all. Honestly, first is a pretty good revenge killer, and just like a last like in the last stretch, he's really quite good at picking up kills at the end because he's just fast as sin, and has decent attack when adamant. So have to go into Slick. Slick is like my safest safest Pokemon I can go into, and this thing is here and it's gonna go for a rest, and oh man, I'm telling you, it's not over yet. This was the opportunity that I had to switch out. This was the opportunity that I had to switch out and try and hurt this thing, but I just go for the Dragon Tail, and my opponent is Dragon Tailed into this fucking jelly blob, and it transforms into me, and Dragon on Dragon is just not... man. And I think he basically wins the speed tie and gets the Dragon Tail off, which does quite a good amount of damage to Slick, and first is dragged out. And it's just sad. It just is sad. Although thankfully I'm not physically defensive, so this Aerial Ace does do a decent amount as my opponent just goes to the Dragon Tail. Honestly, probably the best thing they can do. And here I actually went for the rest instead of the extreme speed, thinking that maybe, just maybe, I could live, but as you can see, that dragon is dead, and it's terrible. It's so bad. It's like Dark Souls all over again. So now the Dragonair is here, and it's just trying to do as much damage as possible at this point, which is really smart. So it just goes to the extreme speed, does a good amount of damage, holy shit. And this Aerial Ace is complete overkill with a crit, completely unnecessary, totally mattered. I did the calcs. It was a 5-hit KO from nose range, you know. I fucking blew it. So I have to go for the Aerial Ace again because I am locked in, and I honestly can't really, like, I can't contest with this creature anymore. I just can't. So I was really hoping he wouldn't get the discharge, because that would take me out anyway. But first it's going to transform into the water type, which means my Aerial Ace is going to do even less. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. I was banking on him not getting the discharge, and I was just trying to do as much damage to this fish as possible. This fish is eternal. It's gonna outlive us all. This lantern is gonna inherit the earth. I'm telling you, it's gonna be here forever. And he gets a discharge, and that is just total overkill, and my bug is dead. My bug is dead. This fish is just a serious MVP of this game. I'm not even lying. I can't lie to you. It's just so cruel. It's just so cruel. But thankfully, my Zangoose is still around, and I don't actually have Protect on this thing. I do run the Swords Dance. So yeah, Tim's finally gonna wake up and get off this discharge. Doesn't really, yeah. Thankfully, it's not enough to take me down, and I'm gonna get my Toxic Orb, and it's gonna be great, and I'm gonna get off this facade, and that's finally gonna take this fish down. Oh my god, it was so back and forth, oh my god. So that was a really close game, really funny. I was just laughing so much throughout this match. I hope you found it entertaining despite the hysteria that he obviously put me through. What can I say? I just suffer from my art, I guess. If you enjoyed that battle as much as I did, as much as I enjoyed commentating on it actually, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. Of course, as always, it is very much appreciated, and you don't have to. But it would put a smile on my face. So, more importantly than all that, take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye!